Yo, what is going on, guys? It is your boy Kimbo here, and it is time for an epic discussion video. So in this one, we're talking about Season 5, man. We're getting fully into it. Season 5 of the Bakugan reboot. So if you haven't seen my other video, Season 5 confirmed, because just pictures coming out and such surfacing. But it's called Bakugan Legends, which makes big time, honestly, full sense with it, because Legends, at this point, a lot of brawlers are being considered legends. I definitely consider like the awesome brawlers up there as legends. Magnus definitely, Athena up there. Just a lot of really powerful brawlers. Even like Chad, like putting in that work. Like China putting in that work. Crystal Blue did. Jenny did. A lot of different brawlers put in that work when it came to like the fourth season even. And yeah, man. Hopefully with Legends, things come full circle and such. But yeah, I'm really, really excited for it. The fact that we're getting a fifth season with Bakugan, because it hasn't happened before. If you talk about it technically there was six. Yeah, there was 5 seasons total for Bakugan. If you're talking about both like Spin Master side and then also Sega Toys side when it came to the first era. But so Battle Brawlers, New Vestroya, Gandalian Invaders, they were the same under both companies, except for like the G power switches and stuff, because Spin Master got more wild with it. But then Mectanium Surge was considered Gandalian Invaders in Japan. But then Mectanium Surge was its own thing in the US, and that ended up being the last season for the US, season 4. It was split into 2 arcs, Arc 1 and Arc 2, First arc having the Metal Bakugan, and then the Sky Raiders with the second part of the arc, but considered 1 season, so technically 4 seasons on that front. And then technically 4 under Sega Toys as well, except their 4th season was Tech, like Bakugan Tech or Baku Tech, you know. So they went down a completely different road. So if you're talking between both companies, there's technically 5 seasons, but for each one, there is 4 on one side and then 4 on the other side. Just, yeah. But this time, for one single series, 5 seasons, so big time hype. Pretty sure we're going to be getting the show with it. It's not fully confirmed that we're going to be getting the show, but I'm sure, like, with how successful Bakugan's doing, we're going to probably get a show with it. And then the Bakugan being known as kind of like Nova Bakugan, so the clear Bakugan, basically, like, whatever the set is for the previous year, hints at, like, the next season, for the most part anyways, because you had it where, like, Dragonoid Maximus had the power of the different factions with it in Drago, and they used that to take down Tico. And then we got Fusion Bakugan, so like multiple, attributes or factions with one Bakugan or 2 Bakugan merging into one, you know. But then we got Drago Infinity, which played on the idea of like the Bakugan joining together with Drago, and then it battling, and then that being a hint of like the figures joining together, like the Geogon joined together with Drago in the next season, with the Geogon. So kind of hinted at that. But then with that, we got the Geogon Combiner, the big time combiners like Ultimate Villock and then Geoforged Drago. And the Drago in that set, the Geoforged Drago figure, had metal incorporated with it big time. So that was a hint towards evolution, with the Platinum Bakugan having the metal. And then now with this season, we got the Genesis collection with like Genesis Drago, Genesis Wrath, etc. Clear Bakugan, open them up, they switch to one color, like, they have the different lights, and then whatever light they land on, that's the attribute that they are. And then towards the next gimmick, which is apparently called Nova Bakugan, which I'm guessing is the same thing. You open them up, and then they switch to a certain attribute or faction, If they make it where, like, it's a certain faction that they have at the beginning, and then, like, you pay a certain amount of energy in order to make it go into, like, say, Nova mode, that'll be cool, because that's kind of like how they did with the fusions. You pay a certain amount of energy, you could fuse the Bakugan, it gets stronger, with that. So maybe the same thing with like these Nova Bakugan, that would be really sick. Like if it's a certain attribute or a certain faction that it is in the base form, but then it can go to Nova mode if you like master it or somehow. And then you pay a certain amount of energy for that, talking on TCG terms with this, You pay a certain amount of energy with that, and then it goes to the Nova mode. I think that would be pretty cool. Like how like Bakugan evolved in like their diamond versions, even with the evolutions with the TCG. Yeah, and then maybe they make some cores that just have the symbol for like the Nova Bakugan on there. So if they land on there, you can evolve your Bakugan into like the Nova version, which I think would make sense in that context. And that way you could have it where like it's incorporated with the regular card game as well. But like, the regular core game as well, with the regular gate cards. But now, with all that out of the way, getting into this, man. So season 5, the things I really want to see for it. The big time cat out of the bag. First thing I'll say, obviously the cards. Getting the cards started up big time, taking the TCG off hiatus and getting them out there because the world improving at least somewhat. With things, it's the perfect time to really get the cards out there in a major way. Spin Master, you're sitting on a gold mine. I don't know why you don't want to execute or put out these cards in a major way. I know maybe the whole idea of, having to print it in different languages and stuff, but you have so many card companies that do that. They print like Pokemon printing in like Japanese and a bunch of different languages, and the TCG sells big time all over the world. It shows how long the Pokemon trading card game has been going on. You play your cards right, you're going to have it go on for a long time. I mean, look at Yu-Gi-Oh! Look at things like Duel Masters. Look at Magic. All these games just about putting out new waves and stuff with it and getting the cards out there. Even if they stop it after like the GG set, make it where people can go back and get Battle Brawlers, like the cards. Like Battle Brawlers cards, Resurgence, Age of Arliss. Where they can get Armored Elite, Fusion Force, Secrets of the Geogon, Shields of Astroya. Those 3, and then Secrets of the Geogon, the GG set, which I'm guessing is going to probably be like Geoforge Guardians or something like that, just GG. So I wouldn't be surprised if it has Geoforge in the name or like Geogon in the name because, it's the gimmick for Season 3. At least those 2. Don't know if there's a third wave for the TCG, but yeah, and we don't know if there's any for evolutions, but we've seen Diamond Evos. Some Diamond Evos for some Bakugan. It's like, are they exclusive to those Diamond packs? Or, is there another TCG wave for Season 4 that they're just not saying anything about because it's on hiatus? That's the big-time question. But regardless, just get those cards out there, man. It'll diversify the game. It'll balance out things that much more when you put the cards out there, and then it'll make it where people can actually, set up big-time tournaments and stuff. Try to get the LGS stuff going again, because if you get it out there in a major way, stores will pick it up. People will get interested. Stores will pick it up. People will get the cards and everything. That you've got a huge community of BakuTubers who will sit here and put out content, talk about the cards. I try to on the regular whenever I've been able to get the cards. I've even reviewed Shield of Astroya packs on here. You guys know. Go and check out all those if you're wondering on any cards that are in like Shield of Astroya prior, even like before that. Because I try to keep up with the cards as much as I can anyways. Latest ones I said, Shields of Astroya that I've opened. The Secrets of the Geogon card packs have not been found or out or anything. But, yeah, even Shields of Astroya getting out there on some capacity is big. But just making it where people can easily get their hands on the cards and stuff, too. You'll have it where you're making money off the Bakugan, making money off the cards big time. Your revenue will go way up. And you'll see just how successful and how far Bakugan can go. Because it has the potential to go really far. I mean, look at Beyblade. It was 4 seasons before this, right? Season 6. We got 6 seasons for the show and 7 for the figures, and the figures are still going. The tops are still going and everything. The bays are still being made. We just found out about freaking Zest Achilles. Yeah. So, it has the potential to go that far. The main thing is just getting those cards out there and really rounding things out with the game. So that being the first thing. Big cat out of the bag. But now getting into the rest. One thing I really want to see is Bakugan that were scrapped before. So with each season, there are Bakugan at the very end of the seasons that they just didn't release for whatever reason, mainly because of time crunch, So even like different factions for like Goreen, we didn't get Pyravian, I think, in like one faction. I think we got in like every except for like, the Ventus one's the toughest one to get. You make it where you can get that, Like Bakugan. That's a tree truck. Yeah. But, even Bakugan, like Webum, I think there's supposed to be like a Pyrus Webum, also like, even like a regular Pyrus Cubbo or something, Diamond Kellyon Ultra being the big one that got scrapped, just a bunch of Bakugan at the end of the first season that got scrapped. And then even with the second season, some Fusion Bakugan getting scrapped. Third season, I'm pretty sure some Bakugan got scrapped. I think like, especially like Serpilius, Apophix, Bakugan that didn't get that many molds. But then even with Season 3, they made new Syndiuses, like Ventus Syndius Ultra, Arliss Syndius Ultra, which we didn't see Ultras for either one of them. Molds of older Bakugan coming back. We get them in this certain faction that we haven't seen before. They have stats where they can actually hang with other Bakugan and such, and they're definitely usable. The way they executed that, I thought it was really smart how they did that with Geogon Rising at the very beginning. Then they did it with evolutions as well. Like we got Pyrus Serpilius Ultra, Darkest Serpilius Ultra, Arliss Enoch. Even though we saw Enoch before, like they made Arliss Enoch because the first one didn't have the craziest stats. They made an elemental, like kind of themed version, with evolutions that's a lot better. That's very usable. Like things like that. Um, like Bakugan that just were scrapped or didn't get that many forms. Like for example, in the show, if you remember the Masters of Disaster, the kids who get dressed up like superheroes and such, like Master Red, Master Blue, Master Green, which definitely reminds me of Pokemon because Green was the girl, and then you have Green, it was the girl in Pokemon, and then Blue and Red being the boys, and then like Red got kind of turned evil by like power of the Elemental Storm and became like this, honestly, the strongest one out of them. And Red being like the strongest out of those three trainers, which, dude, there had to be a Pokemon Easter egg when they were thinking of that. But he had a Pyrus Apophix, and Apophix is so cool, except we only got Apophix in like Ventus, Aquas, and the Diamond version. I would have loved to see it in Pyrus, Darkus, Arliss, Chaos. That's 4 different factions even for Apophix that they could use, and that's just one Bakugan. That was like a Bakugan that didn't get these certain attributes or factions with it. They could go in and fill in those gaps. Like Bakugan that didn't get like a certain attribute or faction before, reuse that mold, man. Just how they did with like evolutions that they incorporated metal with the Bakugan. They could easily just go in and take those Bakugan that weren't made before and just put them in different factions. It would diversify the game that much more, give them decent stats to where they could hang with the other Bakugan. Like, yeah, and then you got like a solid even roster for stuff you can put out for that whole season, man. On top of like the Nova Bakugan or whatever other gimmick Bakugan they have, even if they maybe put in a few more like Platinum Bakugan, like maybe some Platinum Series Bakugan we didn't see before with this season that didn't make the cut, Bakugan that literally didn't make the cut before, the perfect time to put them out. It fills in the holes with the seasons and such. And plus Bakugan like Leonidas. I mean, Leonidas is exclusive to the set right now. It's Arliss Leonidas, exclusive to the Stadium set. You could easily make Leonidas in different attributes or factions. You got the mold for it. All you got to do is just be like, okay, Darkus, Pyrus, Chaos, Aquas, Ventus. Even make a diamond version for it if you want. Damn it, like it's in the show. I think it's in the actual game. I got to play through the game big time for sure. Just the battles take so long to do with the game, but I think there's a diamond Leonidas in the game, and you can make it where fans like play all the way through the game, like, oh man, Diamond Leonidas, I wish this was a real thing, and then actually make the figure for it. You got a Leonidas mold now. You have brawlers that have their favorite attributes with stuff. You ask anybody, you make a Leonidas and whatever attribute they love, they're gonna pick it up for sure. I know if they made a Leonidas in every attribute, I'd be picking up every Leonidas, no doubt, man. I'm glad that they made the Arliss one. You can make it easily in other factions, just Bakugan that we've seen before that don't have that many factions or anything, easily could take up those slots in those packs and make it worthwhile getting those packs. That's how you can make it where like you can incorporate ultras, bring back ultras that had molds before, but certain attributes or factions that we didn't see them in. And same things for the core Bakugan, literally a melting pot. Evolutions was a melting pot, and that melting pot can go over even in the season 5 with the new gimmicks and everything, but still be a melting pot because you're putting in older Bakugan that didn't get a certain attribute with that, So that being a big time thing as well, dude. The next thing I would say is Bakugan that are in the show that have not gotten ball forms in real life, in actual figures. So with this, I mean, a long shot's Artulian. We never saw an actual figure for Artulian in real life. It would be amazing to see Artulian. Would love that. Big time, man. Another one being Tico. Tico's one of my favorite Bakugan for the first season. And they never made a figure for him, even though he's the big time evil and such. It's literally like the Silent Naga effect, except at least they made Naga, like the primitive version of Naga, but they never made Silent Naga, which made me sad. But in general, they didn't make Tico. It's a perfect time, man. Make a figure for Tico and put it out there, man. Whether it's like an Ultra or just a standard, regular Bakugan, like as a core. I don't give a shit. Like, I don't give a damn. Regardless, it'll sell. It'll work big time. Like, just seeing it as an actual figure, people will be like, yo, Tico? They made Tico too? Like, yeah, I'd pick up every single freaking faction that there would be for Tico. Because it's so cool. Same thing with Gorillion. Because Gorillion itself has a really awesome design. Gorillion Infinity looks so cool. Like, you can make it with like Gorillion, regular Gorillion as a core. The Infinity version, make it as the Ultra. Like Gorillion Ultra being aka Gorillion Infinity. It's a different name for it. Like how they did like Evo, or like how they did Neo Drago, but it's the strength mode for Drago, And we still got to see like the speed mode for Drago as well, which I don't know if they're going to name it like Speed Drago, Evo Drago, something. But they got the mold for it, man, and hopefully they don't scrap it. Yeah, like for real. Just those Bakugan that weren't made before. Like the Arliss Teacher's Bakugan, the damn bat skeleton looking one. I still want to see that get an actual figure, man. It looks so cool. We never even got the name for it. Why didn't we get the name for that thing with this season? They never said the name. They said the name of the Nanogon. I forgot the name of the Nanogon, but they never said the name of that bat skeleton looking one. The Arliss Teacher, Professor K, his Bakugan, man. I still think of DJ Professor K from Jet Set Radio Future whenever I say that, but yeah, man, I'd love to see that get a figure. It's mainly the Arliss Bakugan too. They do dirty and not put in like the figure for them. Like what the hell? And Tico used to be a part of Supreme Bakugan Council, man. Like he's still out there. You could have it where like Tico and Gorillion and all these other Bakugan could be a part of the story and such. Just have them come back into it. I mean, Pyravian was a part of it. She didn't really battle or anything with the season, but like she's still a part of like the events that happened with season 4. You still saw the Supreme Bakugan Council, even though they weren't like a major part of the events or anything, you know? Like getting references to them. Like, yeah, man, like, you know, like Goreen, even more molds for Goreen and different attributes. Same thing with Pyravian. Like, they have a perfect opportunity to do this, man. It could be a real melting pot. All those Bakugan that were scrapped before, also the Bakugan that just showed up in the show, they never made an actual ball form for, man. That damn monster Raisinoid looking one that was in the true 0 and 1 episodes, like the big time beginning special of Evolutions, the evil Bakugan that Drago faced in order to get strength mode. Well, you faced it and he, you know, evolved to strength mode for the first time and managed to take it out. I wanted to see a figure for that. That thing gave me a direct just thought of Raisinoid. For sure, man. That thing was so cool. It had such a cool design, and it only showed up in like the pilot of that episode. I'm like, are you kidding me, man? Like that thing looks so cool. I'd love to see that again. If that's the evil for this next season, I'm perfectly fine with that. Like, what the hell ever. And plus that continuity would be sick if they made it where it came back. Like, you know, oh, we battled this back then, and now it's showing up here, and this is the big evil for this. That would be sick. Just make it into a figure. Make it into an actual Bakugan that we can actually use and make profiles with, man. Because you know you have a bunch of people. You have all kinds of people out here, Spin Master, buying Bakugan and such. I'm constantly going Bakugan hunting as much as I can, picking up new products and everything, so I can also review them, show people how strong they are. Some people being interested in some, maybe not others, but you know, being a hardcore avid collector, just collecting them big time and making profiles with whatever there is. It's about using what you got, man. Whatever there is, showing it off in a major way. And I'm going to be doing that with my profiles coming really soon. There's going to be more deck profiles coming soon. I know there's been a lot of like Beyblade and old school Bakugan stuff, but you know, I do technically like 4 different things on this channel. Old school Beyblade, old school Beyblade with like Metal Fight Burst stuff as well. And then old school Bakugan, new school Bakugan, but also interested in like maybe doing plastic gen stuff a bit, and even like with Bakugan, being interested in like tech stuff as well. You know, a lot of different areas on here, so there's plenty to go back and watch. Literally stuff for everybody, no matter what kind of fan you are. Just bear with me. And plus putting out a bunch of videos the last few days and still saying I'm taking a break and still putting out stuff because I just love doing this so much. And there's a lot of stuff dropping, you know, but I'm still taking it easy. But you know, plenty to go back and watch in the meantime. So, yeah, you already know, man. I'm big time hype about this season. The potential for it, especially if they go and do like a lot of these things, it's going to be a very successful season to where they can go on to season 6 plus, man. The potential is definitely there. I want to see the game succeed that much more and go to even the realm of like season 7, maybe even go further to like season 7 or something. Because that potential's there. We got season 5 on the way. There's potential, definitely. They play their cards right with this for even a season 6 and a season 7. I can imagine it going definitely at least as far as like Beyblade's gone, like 6 seasons for the show and maybe 7 for the figures, you know? Or even further. The potential is definitely there. It's just utilizing all of those assets to the best of your ability, man. Spin Master, we're fully behind you. We fully support you. It's just give us some support back too as well, you know, because you got a lot of people that love the game for sure, and just, you know, I remember just there's points where I would even make a video like, I'm not saying I'm the one behind the blind boxes, but a big time influence with it, because I talked about like there being a type of thing where you have a set of Bakugan and maybe there's like a chance of getting an Arliss Bakugan with it big time, but then there's a chance of getting a diamond, you know, an exclusive diamond to that. And then they ended up making the damn blind boxes, dude. Like, they heard that. It must have been influenced with that, for sure. And if so, I'm damn honored. You know, like the just potential's there for sure, man. And I love spewing out ideas like this because it would be amazing to see this stuff happen. Because the potential to go way further than even the first era did is there. The balance, even with how they're doing the game and such, with how the Bakugan are getting a bit stronger, they still keep the balance because the Bakugan not having that much damage with them. You know, and the core manipulation with it as well, playing into a big time factor with things as well. Because it's tough to do a lot of damage if you're like losing your cores and everything, especially a Bakugan who gets a major bonus on a core. So the core manipulation and stuff like that is huge. It even switches up the standard way of playing the game. You know, focus on the Pro Series, well, you know, like the Pro, the TCG aspect of it more, as well as like some Bakugan that we have not seen before, like in certain attributes and stuff. And Bakugan we haven't seen get actual figures on top of the new ones that they have planned and the new gimmicks and stuff. You got a full melting pot, and you can go so far for sure, man. Like the potential is definitely there. It's definitely just about executing on it. But anyways, guys, that is gonna do it for this epic discussion video. The things that I really, really want to see for Bakugan Legends. Also, one more thing. Arliss support. Big time. Like it shows the Bakugan. They're getting some Bakugan that are strong. Like Arliss Bakugan that are strong. That are up there. That hang with the other factions for sure. Now we just need some of those underlying things with Arliss. So for example, like more cards coming. You know, hopefully if they do get the cards out there and such, hopefully there's more Arliss cards incorporated. We don't see nearly as many Arliss cards as like the other factions. There's just not as many, not nearly as many. But you know, seeing more Arliss cards could make it where like mono Arliss could be more of a thing, you know. Hopefully some cards that support like mono decks again, because it's so cool. It was so fun like doing mono decks, like, you know, you have like Flow Effect or like things with Pyrus and such at the very beginning, or Chaos, you know. Like some more cards like that to make it where like mono decks can be big time usable again. I mean, still, you build your cards the right way, they can still be usable. I mean, Jack Kuso's brother won the tournament a bit ago down in Texas with a mono deck. So it shows you just got to play your cards the right way, man, for sure. Yeah, those are my big time things with it. Like more Arliss support. So like, you know, we get the plus 400 cores. Why do we not see Arliss on that? We see where for every single other faction. Hopefully with this season they actually do that, where we get like Pyrus Arliss, Darkest Arliss, Chaos Arliss, etc., etc. Arliss plus 400 shields, and then the regular fist, like a certain attribute or faction, and Arliss plus 3 damage. You know, like how it happens for the other attributes or the other factions. Arliss getting that love and that support, man. That's the big time thing I really want to see, because Arliss is my favorite faction. I love Pyrus and Darkest too. They're definitely up there too as two of my favorites. Arliss being my number one because just the overall balance for it, and I love gold and everything, you know, just the color gold and how they've done the balance for it, like the Arliss Bakugan being more rare. Also just like it's showing Arliss's influence, but also that rarity with it, because they're not even being that many Arliss cards when it comes to the TCG. But yeah, man, just hopefully some more Arliss cards that like boost up the power of Arliss Bakugan. And also the cores to really boost the power of Arliss Bakugan. Like I said, Arliss plus 400 shields, Arliss plus 3 damage regular fist, you know, things like that for sure. But yeah, guys, anyways, I think I got it all on my system, all the thoughts and everything that I want to see. Definitely some other things I'm interested in too. If there's anything I forgot, sorry about that. But you can also let me know in the comments what you would want to see with this new season. I'm just hyped that we're getting a season 5, dude. It makes me so ecstatic and happy that the reboot is doing that well, and it has the potential to go even further. But there's definitely things that can make it where that extra push is there, and they can go even further than they could ever have possibly imagined with it starting off. But yeah, guys, anyways, that's gonna do it for this epic discussion video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to slice that like button down below. Let me know how I did. If you're new to my channel, definitely be sure to subscribe for some epic content, because I upload daily. And if you haven't already, be sure to ring that bell by my channel name to be notified whenever I upload a video. So yeah, guys, till next time, it is your boy Kimbo signing off. See you guys later. Thanks so much for watching. Until then, stay awesome and Bakugan Brawl. I'm up out of here.